Hey, in last videos we create tasks and we create the relationship between these tasks. Now let's move and talk about how we can create and manage the resources. So first of all, you need to create resources in the another sheet. Then you need to assign these resources here in Gantt chart. So as you can see, the second column here after relationships, which is resource names. Using these columns, we can assign the resources directly from this combo box after we define resources using the sheet of resource sheets. Okay. So first we need to change or switch this view to the resource sheet. Define the resource sheet, then go back and assign the resources to the task. So click here on the Gantt chart, then select resource sheet. So as you can see, we have some columns we need to fill, and this depends on type of resource in general. So let's start with the resource work. We mentioned in introduction we have three types of resources in general. The work type, like employees, and the cost, which is the specific cost, and materials. The materials come with the price and also the measurements of this material. Okay. So for example, if we have employee, employee name like this. Okay. So as you can see, by default, any resource you added, it came with the work type. You can change the type directly using the three types, which is the work, material, and cost, as you can see here. Now we need work type because we have resource as the employee. Okay. Now the second one, it is E. It's look like as a shortcut for this resource, because here we need to work with the name of resource. So sometimes we need to work like a shortcut. Okay, so for example, the employee, we need to give full employee name or full work team, for example, here as a resource, as a work. And then we need as initials. And now by default, as a project set or set the first letter of the resource name. Now the second column here is the max. Max, it's look like for the employee will be work as 100%. And the second column here is the STD rate. STD is a stand for standard rate, which is represent the standard rate of the work that's related to this resource. Okay. So for example, if we suppose this employee work as a rate per hour here, for example, $15 by hour. Okay, so this is the standard. Okay, now MS Project actually use this standard rate to calculate the overall of the cost if we set these resources to the tasks. Okay. Now the second column here, which is the OVT.rate. Now OVT is the over rate of the work that's related to these resources. Okay, which is the overtime or overwork. For example, we set here for these resources with the employee name as a standard rate. It is $15 by hour, but in the overtime, for example, it will be $30 by hour. Okay. Now, actually, you need to set for this type of resource, which is the work resources. You need to set the base. Base is the calendar that will be assigned or use it by these resources. Okay. Now it's a new standard. Okay, because we define the fourth type of calendar, with the name new standard. Okay, so you need to set or make sure to set the right calendar that assign or use it by your project. Fine. Now let's move on to fill another type of the resource, which is the material. For example, if we have a material, for example, with the name mat1, okay, change the type or switch this using the combo box to the material. And here in this column, you can set in this the unit of measurement of this material. For example, cubic meter, tons, boxes, yards, and so on. For example, we have CU, which is the cubic meter for this material. And now you need just to set the standard rate. And this is actually not the rate because it's not a work type. It's just the price of this material. So you can set directly here. For example, we have $500 for this material. Okay. And actually you don't need to set the base, which is the calendar, because this type of material, this type of resource, it's material, it's not work. Okay. Now the third one, as we mentioned, we have another type, which is the cost. It's just a cost. You can fill the resource name and set the initial for this cost. Okay. Now save this work and go back to Gantt chart. And now in the resource names here in this column, you can see the resources we defined before. Okay, for example, I need to set employee 1 and mat 1. This is work resources and this is material resources to do for this task. Okay, this is the easy way actually to define and assign resources here in MSc Project.